Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is JD Kizzy, and welcome back to another episode of The Kizzy Show, where we talk about what you want to hear. We are previewing the NFC and AFC championships, so can't wait to get to that. But first, let's talk a lot about the NCAA. A whole lot about the NCAA and how they really cannot control college athletics. I'm going to pull an example from football and an example from basketball that both happened this week that prove that the NCAA really has no control over college athletics. And hey, you may disagree with me, but I'm just calling it how I see it right now. First example, Clemson head coach Dabo Swinney is accusing Pete Golding and Ole Miss of tampering in the transfer portal. Luke Farrelly transferred to Clemson from Cal, and Farrelly was already committed to Clemson. He had already enrolled as a student at the university. He had already started class, and he was already participating in team workouts. After committing to Clemson, Farrelly was still being targeted by Ole Miss. And according to Dabo Swinney, Pete Golding texted Farrelly a picture of an unsigned $1 million check while he was in class. During his 8 a.m. on Wednesday at Clemson, he gets a text from Pete Golding with an unsigned $1 million check to come play for Ole Miss. Keep in mind, he's already enrolled at Clemson. He's already taken class. He's already working out with the Clemson football team. The transfer portal window has closed, by the way. Dabo Swinney did not mince his words in his Friday press conference. He went on an 8-minute rant filled with accusations towards Golding and Ole Miss. I'm going to read a quote from that press conference. This is courtesy of SportsIllustrated.com. There's tampering, and then there's blatant tampering, Swinney explained during a nearly 20-minute answer. Tampering 101 is when you're talking to kids who aren't in the portal. Tampering 201 is when you've already negotiated the deal with the kids not in the portal. Tampering 301 is when you've got a kid who's going in the portal to sign somewhere, move there, go into classes, and you're texting them while they're in class. That's like a whole other level of tampering. So, clearly, Dabo's mad. And he honestly has a right to, because this is pretty ridiculous. When the guy is already committed, enrolled, attending class, and working out with the team at a school, he should not be able just to jump ship to another team. Somebody has to fix this system. Because if your players aren't secured once they're in class and working out with your team, then are they ever safe? What prevents somebody from stealing your players in the middle of the season? That's what it's turning into, essentially. I mean, these coaches are trying to form rosters, and if they don't know who's going to be there by the time training camp rolls around, that makes it virtually impossible. So, this shows the NCAA has no control over college athletics. However, this is not the only occurrence this week that proves the NCAA's ineptitude. Let's go to the world of basketball. Charles Bediako played 3 seasons in the NBA G League, and now he is returning to play basketball for the University of Alabama. He was granted a temporary restraining order from the NCAA that has granted him eligibility. This was granted him by a judge, so the law is not siding with the NCAA. First of all, roll Tide. Because, I mean, if you're at a college university and you got an NBA player playing for you, I mean, and you're a fan of the school, who wouldn't be excited about that? So, I love it. Roll Tide. Secondly, this is wildly unfair. There's no way we should be allowed to do this. Bama or any other school, because Alabama's not the only school who's done it. Baylor did it. They got a guy named James, I'm going to butcher this last name, Njae, who had played in the NBA. He was a second-round pick in the NBA, and he came back to play for Baylor. So Alabama is not the only one doing it here. Even Nate Oates acknowledges how unfair this system is. Here's a quote for him, courtesy of the Tennessean. This is Coach Oates talking. First of all, the system is clearly broken, and I'm all for figuring out a way to fix it. But since the NCAA has already allowed professionals to play virtually every team we've played this year, or will play as a former professional player on their roster, you tell me how I'm supposed to tell Charles and the team that we're not going to support them when he's been deemed legally eligible to play. What he's saying here is Bediako is legally allowed to do this. other teams are doing this. So how can he tell him no? How can he tell him no right here? Yeah, he goes on to say that Bediako shouldn't be punished for trying to come back to school when other people are doing it. Like, if other people are doing it, then of course Bediako is going to want to do it. But he acknowledges the system is clearly broken. Clearly broken. There's no way you should be able to go pro, be pro for a few years, and then come back to play in college. That's like college players going back to high school. It's exactly what it's like. I ran track in high school, and this would be like me going back and running against freshmen and sophomores in a junior varsity meet. I mean, I would smoke them. Yeah, shout out to the Arab Knights track and field program. So, once again, this proves the NCAA has no control over college athletics because there's no way you should be able to do this. But, like I said, roll Tide. We'll take it. Side note, the University of Florida is not scared of Alabama, even though we now have an NBA player. Head coach Todd Golden of the Florida Gators, when asked about Alabama and Charles Bediako, this is what he had to say. We'll beat them anyway. Hey, when you're the defending national champs, I guess you can say whatever you want. Adds a little spice to the basketball. Let's talk about the NFL. The AFC Championship kicks off 2 p.m. Central Time in Denver, Colorado, Mile High Stadium. The Denver Broncos, the 1 seed, hosting the New England Patriots, the 2 seed. For these games, I'm not really going to waste your time with the preview because there's a lot of other people who can preview the game a lot better than me. I'm just going to pick who I think is going to win. How about that? And coming into this game, the Broncos are without their starting quarterback, Bo Nix. He's a playmaker. He's incredible. He takes their offense to a whole nother level. And I feel like everybody's really counting the Broncos out. They're saying no Bo Nix, no shot for the Denver Broncos. I disagree. I think they will beat the New England Patriots on Sunday. 2 reasons. Their defense and their home field advantage. Start with the defense. The Vance Joseph-led unit got torched last week by the Buffalo Bills. I don't think that happens again this week. I think they watch the film. I think they improve. I think they get better. And now, also if you look at that Bills game, there were a lot of plays where Josh Allen just turned into Superman. I think Drake May is good. I do not think he's as good as Josh Allen. And I don't think he'll do as well against the defense. Now, mind you, the Bills would have definitely won this game had Josh Allen not turned the ball over so many times. But that's what great defense does. That's what a great defense does. They force turnovers. Be prepared to see some of those turnovers tomorrow. Also, the home field advantage. Mile High Stadium, the altitude is way different. If you're not used to playing in those conditions, it can really take a toll on you. You may see some Patriots getting some oxygen on the sidelines tomorrow, and the crowd's going to be rocking. I mean, it'll be an electric environment. Drake May has never played a playoff game on the road, and that playoff atmosphere is just a little bit different than the regular season. So give me the Broncos to beat the Patriots. Next game, the Rams and the Seahawks. These teams split the regular season matchups, and they'll settle the score in Seattle. I'm not going to lie, the Rams have not looked great in the playoffs. Not good at all. I mean, they looked phenomenal in the regular season, but towards the end, they're kind of slumping a little bit. And the Seahawks, man, last week, 41-6 on the 49ers. Woo! Ooh, buddy. They look unstoppable right now. They look like the Super Bowl favorites. Well, they are. And I think the Seahawks beat the Rams. I think they beat them pretty soundly. Once again, another home field advantage here. The 12th man in Seattle. They call that place the 12th man for a reason. I mean, gets loud, gets crazy, gets hard to win. I think the Seahawks got it. Shout out to Sam Darnold for having a career renaissance with Minnesota last year and with Seattle this year. I think if I was picking the Super Bowl right now, I would say the Seahawks. which is not a long shot because we're only down to 4 teams. But the Seahawks, they look really good. And shout out to the NFL. I mean, these playoffs have been fun. They've been fun to watch. And I have grown up, and I've been an NFL hater. I've said throughout my whole life, the NFL stinks. The not fun league. That's what I like to call it. This year's changed my mind. It's been fun. It's been good watching the NFL. So, that'll do it for this edition of The Kizzy Show. Thank you guys so much for watching the episode. God bless. And be sure to check out the Alabama Crimson Tide taking on the Tennessee Volunteers with Charles Bediako running the 5 spot for Nate Oates' team tonight in Coleman Coliseum. It's going to be great. God bless. Have a great day.